Okay, chapter 8 exercises. So now we're just going to be rinse and repeating. Again, this is for you guys to, practice on each and every single one. So each scenario is different, but the concepts are there. So let's get started. So what happened on September 5th? Oh, actually, let's read number 1. Let's read the instructions first. That would probably help us. Okay. So number 1, it says here, your inventory method is perpetual and it is FIFO. Okay. So first in, first out. So now September 5th, what happened?
We purchased 100 units at $225 with $25 freight.
Good. So we purchased 100 units at $225 with $100 freight. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bigger for you guys. Okay. So here I've already indicated it's FIFO. I didn't indicate an item because we don't have an item. All right. So I'm going to come here, September 5th. All right. So where do I go?
Purchases, quantity 100, 225. I don't remember what freight was.
Freight was $25. Okay, so freight was $25. All right, I'm going to change these to comma style. So let's go on and solve this inventory worksheet here. All right, so today we're just practicing how to just calculate. Next time we're going to practice on how to journalize and everything. So what's my calculation here?
Total cost is $250. Cost per item is $2.50.
Okay, so total cost is $250. Cost per item is $2.50. Right? What do we do next?
Move it over to quantity.
Yes.
Add 250 and then 250.
So again, I remember I talked about this a couple days ago. This is where we're going to use whether you want to use the middle section to calculate or whether you want to just take it straight into inventory. In this case, I'm going to show you just taking it straight to inventory and how easy it is to go from A to C. All right. So, what is next? Another purchase of 200, 250. Freight is 50. This time it's 200 items. Okay. September 10. September 10. We got 200 at 250. So that gives us 500. Our freight was 50. So 550 and our cost per item is good, 275. Right? And we can go ahead and transfer this information over. Now, did you want to choose colors or does it matter? Do you care? Okay, I'm going to leave it like this. Okay, so hopefully you guys can follow along. If not, the next time we can go ahead and do colors. So, keeping it clean and organized like that, you should be able to follow along because it's FIFO. All right. What happened next? Oh, there you go. Oh, come on. What happened next on September 15? Okay. Okay, so on September 15, we sold a total of 120 units, was it? Yes, 120 units at $10. Okay, now let's look carefully at our batches. And let's look at our costing method. Where are we starting?
250. We take the whole 100.
Mm-hmm. Here we're taking this. Again, you don't need to calculate that, but I'm just going to do it for show. 250, and then now, okay? And then now we need to calculate the other half, the other part. So which batch are we taking from? The 275, right? It's the only batch we have. We only have 2 batches, so we need to dip into our second batch of 200 items. Okay? $55 is correct. Now this is what you can do, right? We know that we eliminated 100 items, so we can just go ahead and zero that out. Here we subtracted 20, so 200, right? So we could do the formula here, 200 subtract 20, just so that we can safely do this calculation correctly. And we get 180, boom, there it is, 180. Now again, it's up to you if you want to just plug it in here for safety measures to make sure that your calculations are correct. And since we are using 2.75, this number is already rounded because it ended at the 5. It's at the nearest penny already. So in this case, this is where we don't need to utilize the space in here because it's meant for purchases only. So we can go ahead and move right straight into our inventory. Okay? And this is what we will be doing when we go into our coffee cafe, right? It's, personal preference for you. Do you prefer doing the calculations in the middle? I think this is a lot more cleaner. It's a lot more you can see. But again, if you're dealing with inventory and you have to calculate every day that you go back to it, and you look at this a week later, or a week later, yes. Are you able to remember what happened the week before? Okay, you're gonna have to backtrack and be like, oh, okay, so this is where I sold 20 items in here, and that's why I have 180 items left. So it's a lot of brain power, but again, since if you're going to be the inventory manager, you're most likely going to be only focused on one aspect of inventory. Okay, it's personal preference. Again, let's go ahead and continue. So what happened next? Hmm. Hmm. We sold another 50 units on September 18th. So right here, all right, we only have one batch left. Okay, 137.50, and now we need to subtract another 50. So I'm going to go in here and actually enter in my calculations here, and I should get 130, and it should cost me that much, 357.50. Right? Okay. Then what happened next on September 20?
purchase 300 units at 275. Freight is $75 on
So
September 20th.
perfect. So 275 and $75 freight.
Cost
Okay. So September 20th. Oh, I put June. September 20. All right. What's my total purchases? 825.
for the first
Mm-hmm.
175.
What did you say?
900 even. 900 even.
Oh, 900 even. I was like 980. I was like, what? Where is this extra 80 coming from? No, perfect. It's 900 even. I heard you clear now. 900 even. Good. So what's my cost per item here? It is $3. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and place it here. No, so indicates that this is my third batch. I got 300 at $3 even, which should give me 900. Good. Okay, so what else has happened? We sold an additional 250 units. Oh, sorry about that, guys. We sold an additional 250 units on 25th of September. So 925. We sold 250. Now, good. So we know that this is already there. So we know it's 35750. Okay. So again, I'm just going to indicate this because it's there. I can do the formula for show. So 535750. Okay. So now we're gonna get rid of this one completely, right? So if you want to update it now, you can. If you want to wait till the end, you can as well. So here I got nothing. Now here, I know I sold 250 items, right? How many more do I need to sell? Yes, I need 120 at $3 each. You say what did you say? No worries, wait, I was just making sure. So here I have 360 for the cost of goods sold. So this is where I know I need to subtract 120. So I can go ahead and come here. I know I have 300. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my formula, minus 120. And I should have 180 remaining at $3 each, which should give me a total of 540. Right? Okay. So then what happened next and what is the last thing that happened? Perfect. So on September 27, you sold an additional 130. Okay. How many batches do we have left? There's only one left. So at $3. Mm-hmm. $3.80, $3.90, $3.90. Okay. Perfect. And if we know 50 times 3, we should get 150. If you don't, you might want to check your work. But that should be correct. It should be $3 and it should be 50 items. So here, that is how you do inventory worksheet. Pretty straightforward. This is the one where you don't need to calculate. You just calculate it directly straight across. Okay. Any confusions about this one? Because this one, I kind of think it makes a lot more sense, and it's definitely something I recommend to utilize. Again, it just makes your worksheet a lot cleaner instead of having to clutter your workspace. But it does help to also verify your calculations. But what do you guys think about this way?
No
I
questions
like
on
it.
my end. Easier.
Okay, so, um,
Better and better.
okay, so we got Mia. What did you say it was?
I said I like it. It's much cleaner.
Thank you. Okay, so and Lynette, you like this one too?
I like it. It's more presentable, especially if you're showing that to your manager or, whoever
Yes.
asks you about it.
Okay. So, but then again, this does have a lot of brain power because you need to remember if you organize it like this, okay, you have your inventory on hand, you already know exactly what the order is. There's, only color codes. Again, I taught it in different ways, right? I use color coding so then you guys can see where your work is going. You could see which batch you're going to be taking out of. But in this case, if you just leave it in this order, it's pretty straightforward, right? The purchase that you have on top is your first one, and every purchase that goes after it is your last one. So again, I showed you from step by step. Now that we're getting advanced and we're learning it and making it easier for ourselves. So now here's the shortcut. You don't need color coding unless you want color coding. You don't need to clutter the middle space for your calculations because you can just directly do it right here. Now that, of course, that only applies for Excel because you can virtually use it to manipulate your information, and your calculation is a little bit more accurate here. But if you were to do this on paper, whatever it makes you feel easiest to remember or be able to do this, ultimately it's whatever it makes sense to you. So if you want to use color coding, go for it. If you want to do the cluttering space in the middle, go for it. But in this case, I'm just showing you now that we've been so advanced and we've been working on this problem. This is how easy calculating inventory can be. Pretty spanking easy, right? So here we have our 50 items on inventory at hand, and it cost us $150. Okay. Now let's go ahead and see what happened next for this particular question. So here, number 2, continue from above. Your inventory method is now perpetual and it's LIFO. Okay. Again, in real life, this would never happen, right? If you're going to be continuing your inventory, you're going to be consistent. But in this case, this is just an example, so we'd be able to look at the problem and be able to utilize all three, in one shot so that I don't have to keep creating more stuff. So here on September 30th, it says that you have 50 units on hand, totaling a cost of $150. So let's go ahead and proceed. So I'm going to go ahead and indicate 530. Okay. Where do we put this ending inventory on hand?
Inventory, yeah, on hand.
Good. So we have 50 items costing $3 and it's 150. Okay, so I'm going to change the format and style of this real quick. Comp style. Okay. All right. Okay, so what happened on October 5th?
We purchased 100 units at $3.25, and the freight is $25.
Good. So on October 5th, we purchased 100 items at $3.25 and freight was $25. I'm going to double confirm that.
Yes.
Good. All right. So what are the calculations here? What's my total purchases here? Go ahead. Sorry, Lynette. What would you say? 325. All right. And what's my cost per item?
$3.50.
$3.50. Okay, so I'm going to transfer this information over. 100. My cost per item is this number, and I'm going to multiply across, and 350 should be my answer. Okay. Now I have a second batch, so now I'm introducing to the concept of LIFO. So when we start selling our stuff, which batch are we taking from? The bottom, yes, the last one. Okay, so what happened on October 10? Okay, so LIFO. So here on so 200 items at 350 and my freight was 50. So how do I calculate? What's my purchase price here? 700 even. $375 even. Good. All right. Good. So 200 at 375. that's gonna cost me $7.50. Good. So now we have a total of 350 items in your inventory. Okay, now that we introduce a new batch, the next time we sell something, where are we taking it out from? From the 200 batch. Yes, good. All right. Okay, so what happened on October 12th? Yes. So on October 12th, we sold 180 units. Yes, because we're taking from the very last batch, which has 200, which covers the entire thing. So I'm going to cell reference this to 375. And again, 675. All right. 180. Okay. So I know that if I 200 subtract 180 gives me 20 left, which should equal $75 even. Okay. Then what happened on October 18th?
Units.
Another 100 units are sold. So October 18th, another 100 units are sold. Okay? Good. So you don't need to calculate it. It's just for show. But I'm gonna, yeah, just to show so then you know where it's coming from. And it's for $75.
Oh, well, we can figure it out. The inventory count and
Okay, well you wanna zero it out? So we got rid of this 20 batch here. Okay. So how many more remaining do we need to sell? Good. And how much?
the very last right now, because we're zeroed out in the very
Yes. So which batch are we taking out from now?
The 100.
For the 100 at $3.50, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's the only batch. It's
I'm not sure. To say it in the very last or second to the last, the mere fact that although it's already zeroed on the
yeah. So you can always refer it as the cost per item. So in this case, we're taking out of the batch that cost $3.50. So what's my calculation here? Since I'm not taking the whole batch, I'm only taking a portion of it. What is my total here? 280. All right. And then I can go ahead and safely come over here. Okay. Which should give me $70. All right. What happened on October 20?
Purchase 300, 375.
Okay, so October 20. So 10/20. We purchased 300 at 375. Freight is 75. Right? So what's my total purchase price here?
1125.
1125 plus 75. What's my total cost here?
1200.
1200 even. All right, giving us a grand total for each item is how much? $4. See, I made these really easy numbers, so then you guys can go through this quickly. So in this case, I'm still gonna leave my third batch there because it's my inventory just to make sure I make these things. So I'm gonna go ahead and just transfer it over. 300. Well, I could have cell referenced that, but 1200. So now make sure. Now look at this. Now we have a new batch of 300. Okay. Now let's look at what happened on October 25th.
You said 200 units.
We sold 200 units. All right. October 25th, we sold 200 units. All right. At what price did we sell each item at? We sold them at $4, right? Sorry guys, I might be making you guys dizzy. So we sold it for $4. 800. Okay. And oh, so 100 times 4 is 400. And if we did our calculations earlier, that's correct. We started with 1200 minus 800 gives you 400. Okay, good. Then what is happened next, and what is the last piece of information we need to know? Yes, all right. But what happened on October 28th? Another 150 units were sold. So October 27 or 20, 27, 28, 27, 28. So October 28, we sold another 150 units. Yes. Okay. Now. Okay. Okay. At 350. Good. Which we know, right? And I'm just doing this for show, so $70. Good. Yes, we can. And then lastly, how much remaining do we need to take out? We sold 150. So how many more items do we need to sell? 30. Yes. All right. At how much? $3 even, which gives us a grand total of what? $90. So in this case, I can come here, right? I should be able to take 50 minus 30 to give me a remainder of 20. which is exactly what our information has said, that you should have 20 items at the end of the day, times $30 each should give you 60. That should be correct. 20 times 3 should be 60. All right. Cool. All right. So, what happened next? So, here we need to make sure that we round to the nearest penny because we are dealing with moving average. So, in this case, continue above. Your inventory method is perpetual moving average. Round to the nearest penny. Okay, or round the average cost to 4 decimal points. 4 decimals. Okay. So I guess so this one now it's telling us what to do. It's saying that when we actually do our average cost per item, we need to round to the 4 decimal places. So meaning we're going to start rounding at 4 decimal points. So what happened on October 31st?
We had our
And
20 units.
top units on hand,
Perfect.
costing $60.
Good. So here I'm going to go to my moving average worksheet now. I'm going to put a little indicators on top on October 31st. All right. If you didn't have your inventory worksheet on hand, right? You can also calculate your cost per item easily. Since we know we have 20 items and it cost us $60, then you should be able to calculate the cost per item, right? You just take this divided by your 20 to get the $3. But in this case, we know because it's a continuation of our problem. So let me change this real quick. You and me both. Okay. What happened here? What happened on November 2nd? Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. So here, November 2nd, this is moving average. Quantity. The quantity here, what did we start? So quantity, we purchased 100 units at $3 and the freight is $25. So 100 at $3. Good. So the purchase price is 300 and it is for 325. Good. Okay. So this is where we can eliminate having to add them together because what we can do is we know that we have 20 from up there, right? So we could take 100 or you can cell reference however you want to do it. I'm going to take 100. I'm going to add my previous one up here to make it 120. And here, because I know it's $60, I'm going to add my total cost here of $325. Okay? And now I get a grand total of $385. Now I need to calculate my my average cost per item here. And in this case, we're gonna get what did you say? 3 point. Okay, so in this case, we're going to round our cost per item, right, to 4 decimal points. That's what it required you to do, right? So here, I'm going to stop here, but that means when I punch it in, it's going to be completely different. So in this case, all right, there. So what happened next on November 8th?
Purchase units at $2.75.
Yes. So we bought 200 at 275. Freight was 50. 200, 275, 50. Right, November 8th. Okay. 200 at 275 and freight was 50. So what's my calculation here?
And then total is $600.
Good. Now this is what I forgot to do earlier. I forgot to eliminate my items here. Oh, not that. No, I don't want. No, I want this color to eliminate my items here. Okay, so now that I introduce a new batch, what do I do here? Yes, you're gonna have to add it. And I have to also add my totals here as well, right? Not multiply, add. Okay, so we get 985. What was that?
What did I got 2.8, I'm sorry.
Okay, good. And then now we can eliminate this right here. Okay, because now we have 320 at a grand total of 985, which gives us our cost per item right here. Okay, so now what is next?
We sold 115 units.
We sold 115 units, okay, on November 15. Now watch me carefully. November 15, we sold 115, right? Now in this case, like I said, this is asking me to round this number to 4 decimal places. So you can choose to either just type it straight in, you can self-reference it, but if you self-reference it, it will be a little off. In this case, I'm going to type it in. What was it? $3 0781. Okay, and I'm also going to go ahead and equal round this so it gives me a nice number, a nice decimal place number, because this is what I'm journalizing in my journal, right? My cost of goods sold is going to reflect a dollar amount to the nearest penny. So in this case, I need to round my answer to 2. And what do I get here? Good. 358, 353.98. Now, this is kind of the tricky part here. So now we need to go ahead and transfer these two pieces of information over into this right here. So in this case, I know I'm supposed to have 320, but I'm going to subtract the 115, right? To get my a grand total 205. In this case, I am going to subtract my 985, and I'm going to subtract my 353.98, and what do I get here? Yes, you should get 631.02. And then now you can go ahead and solve for your new average cost per item.
Using the 4 decimal points.
Yes, if you use the 4 decimal points, it should stay the same. But, you know, again, if we're looking at a miniature number, so that means the next time that we calculate our inventory, we're going to use the same exact number right here. So I'm going to go ahead and scratch that out because we no longer have that. But I'm going to keep it there because I use my self-references here, okay? So that's why I'm not deleting anything, because it's important that you know that I use my self-references from here. Okay. So now I have 205 items remaining at $631.02. Okay. So what has happened next? On November 18th.
We sold, 145 units on November 18th.
Yes, we sold 145 units on November 18th. So November 18th, 145 units. Okay. And again,
The cost per item, just bring it down.
yes.
Bring it down.
So what's my total here?
446.3245.
Right?
So, 446.32.
Good. All right. So how do I update this side?
You minus, 145 from 205.
Good. And what do I get here?
Okay.
160?
60.
Oh, 60. Okay. All right. And then I also need to do the new calculation here.
So, 184.68.
68?
Six.
184.70 usually.
Yes. So we rounded here. Our answer is 446.32, correct? Here in our answer from above is 63102. It should be 184.70 because we're rounding our numbers, remember, okay? And we're finding an average cost per item every single time. Okay. All right. So, yeah, so make sure that you round and look at your numbers carefully because this is where if you don't type in your formulas or the way that you're formatting your worksheet, this is where you can have Excel make the calculation error because ultimately it's human, but Excel doesn't know because Excel thinks that it's going to calculate whatever it is, and now it's supposed to be 180. I'm sorry, 180. 184 and 70 cents. Okay. Even punch this in your calculator. If you started with the 631.02 and you subtract the 446.32, you should get an even number because the two ending numbers end with 2. So it should be 0 at the end of the day. Okay. All right. Any questions in regards to just how we got this little rounding issue or how we got different numbers? Okay. All right. Okay, so what has happened next for the 20th of November?
Purchased 300 units.
We purchased 300 units more at $2.50. And lastly, what was freight?
$75 free.
Okay, so 300 at 250, 75. Okay. So November 20th, we purchased 300 units at 250 with our freight of 75. All right. So what is my numbers here?
750.
750 plus 75 gives us
825.
825. All right. And I forgot to eliminate this section right here because we no longer have that amount. Okay. But, so what has happened next? What do we need to do?
Need to add
We need to
300.
Good, exactly. So we're adding our 3 to the 3 for the 300 to the 60 to get you a grand total of 360. We're going to add our 184.70 plus our new amount of 825. All right. We also forgot to calculate this. So, what is my cost per item now for this exact one?
2.8047.
2.8047. So let's go ahead and expand that. Good. All right. Again, we forgot to also calculate our cost per item here, but good. It's a good thing because we had to change it regardless at the end of the day. So, all right, so backtrack here. It should be the same exact number. Yes. Okay. So now we can go ahead and eliminate this batch right here because we no longer have it anymore. Now we're dealing with 360 items. at a grand total of 1,009.70 cents. So, what has happened on November 25th? We sold 175 units on November 25. So, November 25, we sold 175. Yes. Okay. Now, what number are we going to be using?
The cost item is 2.807.
8, 4.
2.8047.
Good. And then again, we're going to equal round this. 490.82. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and do this. So what is my new cost per, I'm sorry, what is my new quantity? I can't talk today. So 360, okay, minus 175 should be 185. Okay. And then here my 1,009.70 minus goes what 518.88 is good. Is correct. So what's my new average cost per item now?
That's
Yes.
what I do now. 2.8047. But for using 4 decimal points, 2.8048.
Exactly, because the instruction says to round it to 4 decimal points. We're not cell referencing, or we're not using that long number. It says specifically what to do, so we're rounding 4 decimal places. Good. All right. So what has happened next?
On November 28th,
Mm-hmm.
we sold 125 units.
Okay, good. We sold 125 units. And then lastly, what should happen on November 30th?
We should end up with 60 units on hand.
Good. So we have 125 sold. So 1128. We sold 125. Okay. And now, because our cost per item has slightly changed, that means we're going to also make that slight change here too. Right? Okay, so what is my number here? Now, so again, this is an equal round formula to make sure that you round at the nearest penny. 350 and 6 0 cents. There you go. Want to make it visually appealing. Okay, so 350, 60. All right, now how do we calculate the rest? What's my new quantity?
185 minus 125.
Should give me how much? 60. Good. We hit our goal, so we're doing good. One 160.28. Good. 168.28. Okay. Okay. So here our cost per item dropped again by a tenth of a penny. I mean, a thousandth of a penny. Okay. But that's okay because we are rounding our numbers at the 4 decimal points. So this is what we need to calculate now. See, as you notice, we changed our inventory, our cost per average cost per item changed by a thousandth of a penny. And see how drastically that did by just us selling a couple items. All right. So good job, guys. Again, we got to look at a much more easier, comfortable way of calculating our inventory on hand. Do you guys have any extra questions? It's because we finally got used to it, right? It's better. It's a clear way of understanding.